Hello and welcome to Friends of the Show, the podcast hosted by me, Stephen W. Skinner, where I talk to one of my Twitter pals. So thank you for joining us. This week's episode is Will at Upside Down Trash on Twitter. He's one of my favorite guys out there, so funny and incredibly nice. So it was great to talk to him. Just want to give a quick shout out to Mark McGark and Making Friends with Mark McGark podcast. Everyone check it out on iTunes. So, without further ado, enjoy the podcast with Will.
I wonder if there's beer on the sun. And that comes from a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode of The Final Sacrifice, which is a Canadian movie from 1990.
Wow, deep refs already to start the podcast.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Welcome, Will.
Thank you, Stephen, for having me.
Let's do the song. All right, well, welcome to Friends of the Show, episode 4, with our friend Penjamin, a.k.a. Will, a.k.a. at Upside Down Trash on Twitter. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Stephen.
Hooray.
It's been great so far.
Yeah, we're knocking it out of the park. Is this your first podcast?
It's not, but the other one hasn't been published yet. So for all intents and purposes, yes, it is.
Okay, so could get a simultaneous release of podcasts with Will.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So just for the listeners, Will is one of the nicest and funniest guys I've met through Twitter. Some of his tweets are just the best, and he's managed to find fun and unique ways to keep Twitter interesting.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, you took a brief hiatus, but you did return thanks to some lovely support from the community, and you're back and better than ever, right? So I'm really glad to have you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. This is going to be great. Those are some very kind words.
Well, you're a very kind individual, well-deserved. So let's get right into it because we have a lot to discuss because you're one of the best guys on Twitter, so a lot of parts of your brain I want to pick. So first, let's get to know you a little bit. You said you had a little story about the origin of the name Penjamin, which is sort of your screen name that you're going by. What is this? What's the story?
So a lot of people will call me Ben, and rightfully so. I think people would probably misinterpret Penjamin for Benjamin, which is Benjamin with a P. Unfortunately, that's not the name. It's just this story goes wasted ago, and I was laying down in bed with my now fiance, and I was going on and on about how great our room fan was, and keeping us cool in the summer months. And I was very ecstatic about how great it was and how awesome it was that he was keeping us cool. And she asked me, well, what's his name? My first reaction was to go with a P name. So I went, Benjamin. So I went with Penjamin, and together it makes Penjamin. So the fan's name was Penjamin for the rest of its life, and then it died, unfortunately. And
oh no,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
So we had to, as I felt the need to continue on his legacy through bad tweets, and here we
Well, thank you for that. That shed some light on the whole Penjamin name.
Yeah, it's not. There's not much hype behind it. It's a strange story indeed.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So, how long have you been on Twitter doing the jokes on Twitter?
I think I started in May 2015. I created my account on the train in between home, and originally I had created it because I always looked at people like Michael, like Home Halfway, and people who have been around a long time, and I was like, I really like the camaraderie of that environment. Everybody seems to know each other. So I wanted to get involved, and I was terrible. I was absolutely awful. I initially started as a predictive text account. So basically I would type a word and then I would just see where my phone would take it. So if you ever want to go back into my history and like around May 2015, look at those tweets. They don't make any sense, but
Yeah.
they were funny to me, and that's kind of where I started.
Just let the phone decide what to tweet.
Exactly. And I mean, looking back on it, it's a lot easier and it makes a lot more sense to then try to stress out about what to tweet next.
Yeah, I guess it really takes all the guesswork out of it. And
Absolutely.
just go for it. Yeah, post whatever. The phone thinks it's funny. Look, the phone thought it was funny.
Exactly. And
Right. So you started
didn't
as
get-
a predictive text, and then you moved on. You saw the community, and you're like, me too.
yeah. So I think when I started stopping text tweets was around the time I started reaching out to people, smaller accounts that were about the same size as me, which was very small.
How many? Like
And,
100 people? Like 200?
I might have been around 200 at that time, and that was a lot of follow backs. So the first person I ever reached out to was, well, there was a group of them, but the first person I ever reached out to was Sky. So at I'm Space Girl, and she was about the same size as I was at that time. Her, Elizabeth, the were with us, and Tom Trojan Horse. Cut that out. Make sure he does not hear that.
Do I have to edit this episode now? Because this is a thing. I was gonna
Let's start over.
Because I think he's mentioned later on, and I was gonna say he's G Wiz or whatever now.
Yeah, G Wix.
Yeah, he's Twitter user G Wix is what we're talking about. He does not have a name.
So he was actually the biggest account that I was talking to at the time. He was probably at like 800, and he was well on his way to 1K, which felt like the biggest milestone at that time,
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. So I realized that they were doing better jokes than I was, and I was like, well, I looked at Tom basically, and I said, if he can do it, to do.
Yeah. Yeah, if that guy can do it, I mean, anybody can, right? That's where we're going with that.
Absolutely.
So you saw these people, and they obviously, you had a little bit of a community there, and so they helped you get much funnier.
I don't know if they got me to be much funnier, but they definitely pushed me to be. That's what I intentionally,
meant.
But yeah, I saw what they were doing, and I was like, I want to give it a shot, and I was still awful.
Yeah.
I think I probably had my first over 300 tweet.
Nice. Do you remember which one it was? The first one that like got traction?
Yeah, it was a riff off of Smooth Criminal. It was about a guy getting hit by a truck or a car, and it's basically like you've been struck by a car, and that was a joke.
Hey,
it
still works.
Yeah. And and then I started realizing that people were doing calls and stuff for tweets, and like Bat Karen and Kirk Captain Antagonist and stuff like that. And I started putting my name out there, and I feel bad for them because they had to retweet a lot of my early stuff, which wasn't the greatest.
Yeah,
but
shout out to Orange SNES for putting up with all the bad tweets, but he'll retweet them.
Absolutely. But I mean, we had to retweet his too. I mean,
it's a give and a take, and everyone who's part of the Share Tweets community knows you give a little, you get a little, help a brother out here and there.
And Kirk and Karen are two of the nicest people, and they definitely, I don't know if they know it or not, or if they really paid attention, but they definitely help out a lot of people, a lot of small accounts by doing that when they did it. And there's a lot of names out there now that are standards, and I don't think they would be where they are without those two people.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah, you never think about that, like the people who get passed on the way up, who totally helped out them, the little accounts when they had 100 followers or whatever.
Absolutely.
Got eyes on those early tweets. So yeah, shout out to all the people sharing little account tweets. I know some of the bigger accounts do like small account Sunday, and they'll ask for accounts with less than however many followers to send tweets. So that's a great way to get out there too. If you're just a little account listening right now, send your tweets out, and maybe someone will see them.
Yeah, that's very good advice, because I mean,
that's what we did.
It's hard to get. Yep, absolutely. and it's hard to get noticed just by praying that somebody stumbles across your timeline and thinks you're funny.
Yeah, the timeline visits are very few and far between. They got to be
Exactly.
out there in the wild
For sure.
timelines. Okay, great. So I think we have got to know you a little bit from that. We spoke a little bit about your hiatus, but we'll get to that later. That's what we call
Excellent.
a tease. So we've teased the story where you take a hiatus. Okay, so now...
Oh, that was excellent.
So now let's get to your actual story that you have brought for us. It is called Chicken Sandwich Dilemma. So please grace us with your tale.
Okay. So another story that starts out when I probably had too much to drink. So I was with a band at a time, and we all, we got done practicing, and we all got doing things we shouldn't have been doing. Of course, the illegal things came out, as in marijuana. I don't know if you can say that on air.
Well, technically, I'm in Canada right now, and legislation has been put forward to legalize the sale of recreational marijuana in July 2018. So I think by the time this comes out, I mean, we're almost in a gray area, so I think we're in the clear.
Yeah. So if you want to come and arrest me for like something that happened 5 years ago, Donald Trump.
Don't do it, Trump. I know you're listening.
So So I know there's like that really wacky period when you're drunk and also high, and I pulled out Pokemon and started playing that.
Nice.
And
Pokemon Go
everything
here?
got very blendy, and room started spinning. So I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll sleep on the couch.
Yep.
I woke up probably about 6 hours later, and everyone was gone. They probably went home. I was at my friend's house, so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna stay here. I'm sober, so I'm gonna drive home. So I drove home, and I was very hungry. So I stopped by on the way home a Wawa, which for people listening that don't know what Wawa is, it is a beloved convenience store and / gas station in the tri-state area that has some of the best food. It's made to order. So if you're in like Pennsylvania, like a Sheetz would be like similar. Or any
I don't get any of these references. I was like, tri-state area. What are these states?
Tri-state area would be like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and like Delaware.
Okay, yeah, good 3 states.
Yeah, I mean it's the best 3 states. So, so yeah, I mean if you mention Wawa to somebody around here, it's about that's church to them. So I stopped there and I was like, I'm gonna get something to eat, and you like whatever you want to order. And I was like, I could really go for like a chicken sandwich. So they came up with 3 different options. It was like, blue chicken sandwich. It was like chicken and bacon. It was like chicken avocado. And I was like, I don't know which one I want.
Mm-hmm. This is the titled chicken sandwich dilemma.
Yeah, here's where it comes in.
This is it.
This is the big wrap up. So I ordered all 3 of them.
What?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm young and reckless. I'm gonna go ahead and order all 3 chicken sandwiches, and I did. And I got home, and I was like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna eat 3 chicken sandwiches, and I didn't. I ate like half of one and fell asleep.
Like in the kitchen.
I woke up. No, I was in bed. I was eating chicken sandwich in bed, Steven.
You brought him straight to bed. Why would you stop in where you eat the food? Just put it on your pillow.
In retrospect, I would have stayed up if I was in the kitchen.
Exactly, yeah. Just like that's the move. For any future very hungry, very tired people, just eat it in the kitchen before you go to bed. You won't fall asleep with it.
But in the morning, I woke up and I was obviously surrounded by chicken sandwiches. Great, because guess what? I'm going to eat them.
Yeah.
And I did.
Did you heat them up or did you just eat them cold?
I don't know if I want to answer that, but
Are you taking the 5th on this?
Yeah, we'll take the 5th, but I mean, obviously, if I'm not going to answer it, it probably means I ate them cold, right?
Just imagine the grossest way to eat them, and that's why he's not answering.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff style off the floor.
Exactly. That's a perfect image for what happened that night.
Especially for the next day when you're all hungover and you're just like, I'm on the floor now.
Yeah, I didn't feel like getting up. The microwave was downstairs, and I just popped them right in, as they say. No one says that, but
well, are we starting it? We starting that here now?
Yeah, we'll pop them in.
Pop it.
And that's a chicken, and it was solved by if you're in America, why not both? In this case,
Yes.
Why not all three?
Classic American ending to that story, right? Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that story with us. Wawa. Big plug for Wawa sandwiches. Wawa. Do they have like a little jingle you can sing right now?
They have a Hoagie Fest song, which I'm not going to sing, but if you're listening, you should Google Hoagie Fest and the great music of Wawa.
Yeah, we'll just take a minute. You can pause the podcast right now, go listen to that, and then come back.
The DJ's playing your favorite song. You got your toes in the sand, and it won't be long until everybody's singing along. It's the Wawa Hoagie Fest. Having a ball playing with your friends. The day's so sunny, hope it never ends. You just can't wait to do it again. It's the Wawa Hoagie Fest. It's the Wawa Hoagie Fest.
Okay, I'm assuming that everyone listened to it, and now they're back. And wow, what a jingle!
Yeah, it was great. Also, I feel like I have to plug that because hoagies are maybe not like a thing people say.
I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I've been to the tri-state area.
So yeah, hoagies are submarine sandwiches or grinders or heroes.
And grinders,
what you get at
hoagies
Subway.
and grinders from that Adam Sandler song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people know. But yeah, thanks for dissecting these local references that not everybody might get. We might have people listening in Finland.
And anybody
Shout
in
out
Finland
to-
can you just go ahead and suck it. So whatever.
Oh no! Ugh. Shout out to Malt Skull, who's in Finland.
I hope he listens. I love that dude.
Yeah, he's the best. We're hoping to have him on soon. All right, so thank you, Will, for that lovely story about the tri-state area and chicken sandwiches. All right.
You're welcome.
So now let's get into the very funny tweets provided by Penjamin himself at Upside Down Trash. So I asked people to send me their 3 favorite tweets that they've written, and these are what you went with. So we'll just, I will read them, and then we can talk about if there's any.
A dramatic.
Yeah, I'll do a dramatic reading, and then we will discuss at length to get behind the curtain of how these were created.
Awesome.
So 3:34 p.m. on July 6, 2015, at Upside Down Trash tweets. I get home and realize where my house stood, a shark now sits dressed as a house with its mouth open. Shark nervously makes house noises. There's no good way to read that, right?
No, it's
but
not.
It's so
no.
funny that it's unknowable how to perform that tweet. But one of the funniest house noises is probably the biggest punch, right?
Yeah, that's. I remember writing that tweet. I was outside for a smoke at my job, and I came back in, and I was about to board the elevator. And of course, like you're just trying to think of, what are you going to tweet next? And I started thinking about my biggest fear in life, and that was shark. And I thought maybe, if I never spent another moment in the ocean, a shark probably could never kill me. But I think that they would find a way. So I always joke that I'd be like, driving down the highway and like an aquarium truck would run by and like get in an accident and it would be full of sharks and it would, get knocked over and like all the sharks would be like.
Shark would flop over.
Yeah. And then like it would be like, okay, there were no casualties from the crash scene, but there was one dude who got eaten by a shark. His car is perfectly fine, but he's dead.
It'd be like the person who quotes those stats, like you're more likely to die in a car accident than get eaten by a shark. Be like, oh, that's a weird Venn diagram.
Except that one guy.
Yeah, that one guy. Ooh, yeah. He gets both. He checks both boxes.
Poor guy. Yeah, that would be me. So I was trying to make it a little more, I guess, accessible and not more than 140 characters. And actually, I got to the end of that first paragraph there before the shark dialogue, and there, just as is.
Yeah.
And then I sat down at my desk and I just penned that last line. Little something more, and that ended up kind of being the line that sold it the most. And I remember writing it and I sent it to like the only group DM that I was at the time because I was still really small when I wrote it. And I was like, this is it. This is the best tweet I'll ever write. And this is my magnum opus. I'm never going to write anything better. And I still think that holds true. I think that's still accurate. Yeah, that's the backstory to House Shark.
And there is a question about that later, but we'll get to the questions later. The myriad of questions. You know, you broke the record for most questions submitted to this podcast.
Did I?
Yeah, you're the fourth guest. But
most of them are like negative questions, like "How dare you?"
There's a few negative Nellies out there, but you're gonna get those. You know, it's the internet. Okay, next tweet by Penjamin.
Sorry, I got distracted.
It was the 20th of November in 2015 at 9:27 p.m. when you said, "Mom says, what are you hiding in there?" Nothing. Vin Diesel noises from the closet. Mom, is Vin Diesel in there? Yes. Vin Diesel from the closet. No.
Excellent.
Again, a lot of dialogue, a lot of back and forth. You got Vin Diesel in a closet. That's one part. You got the mom asking questions. You're playing dumb. You're like, nothing. And then you admit it. You're like, yeah, Vin Diesel's in there. And Vin Diesel, staying true, says no.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes this one of your favorites?
No, I think this is my favorite of my dialogue tweets, just because I think it's so, and I love the fact I love the little ending, that Vin Diesel says no, and it would obviously be Vin Diesel, like obviously,
yeah,
like in the closet, everyone knows at this point, and if Vin Diesel says no, and you're like, okay, that's Vin Diesel's voice, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's not in there, but sensical dialogue. I kind of strive for. I don't always hit it, but I love little tweets like that don't really, I don't know, much sense out of Twitter, because a lot of people wouldn't understand that joke or really get it. But I try to something out of, not much. I try to push it like it's risky or anything, but it's a word. It's
finding the diamonds in the nuance of everyday life.
And Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. I mean, he's not a walking punchline. He's just a punchline in this joke.
And it could be anybody.
Yeah.
Guess right.
You could replace Vin Diesel with whoever, Paul Giamatti. When he's in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a great.
I guess an example of noises, which I guess I tried to become my trademark there, but
the different noises where you just like say something noises. And it lets the imagination run wild.
Yeah, what could it be?
Well, yeah,
it's Vin Diesel.
I think that's the beauty of some of these is sort of like, what can your mind paint a picture of your words, right? From the tweets.
Yeah.
Okay, so your third tweet that you sent in, it was March 11th, 2017. Old, paunchy, and alone, he caresses the chiseled face captured on canvas so long ago. He laments to an empty room. No one weeps like Gaston. I didn't do a good Gaston voice, but you get the idea, everybody. Gaston.
That was an excellent Gaston voice.
Thank you. Gaston, Beauty and the Beast. No one bangs like Gaston, right? This big song, and it's just a sad take on it, right? Just like trying to paint that picture.
Yeah. So this tweet was actually a draft that was sitting around for a while, and I don't usually do serious tweets. So this one, while it is kind of a joke, morbid picture.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably one of my most well-written tweets, in the fact that it's, like there's prose and, it almost sounds like it's written by somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it flows. It's well written.
Thank you.
It captures the moment. He laments, really captures the essence, right? You're using descriptors, great descriptors.
Thank you. And yeah, I think that's why that one's sticks with me so much, and it's definitely one that I'm proud of for different reasons that I'm proud of the other two. But I really like it, and I really like how much other people like it, because it's one of those tweets where like you're happy that you tweeted it, and you're happy that if anybody hits that like button or hits the retweet button.
Yeah.
But it's good to see, something you really like have success too, and that's something really cool that you share something that you created and people like it a lot.
Yeah.
And
That's
you're
the
not just
best.
sharing it to an empty room.
Yeah, that's the best. That's why we do it. Do it for the
Yeah.
love.
Absolutely.
So those are the 3 tweets, awesome tweets. But I couldn't help but notice that one was missing, so I had to pull one from the archives. My favorite one of yours, and one of my favorites of all time, and it is obviously first day working at Hotel California. Guest, I'd like to check out. Me, sure, you're all set. Guest, thank you. Leaves. Boss comes out. Can I see you in my office? Because you can check out, but you can't leave Hotel California. Anyways, one of the best tweets probably of all time. First day working at Hotel California. I'm going to put it in the show notes. So please, everyone, go and like that tweet, retweet it. It should have probably 1 million likes.
Yeah, that one is, thank you for those kind words. That one was a spur of the moment. I was in a DM room called Hotel California, which I'm sure there are 1,000 of them, but at the time that one was called Hotel California. And I wrote it offhand, like spur of the moment. And it's one of those things you just hit, hit send and don't worry about whether you spelled something right, or at least I do.
Yep. He has so name. He has name. There's fun typos that you do.
A ton. So, yeah, everything worked out in that one. And I thought it was maybe an overdone joke, but I don't know why. And I felt like I was beating a dead horse with Hotel California. Mm-hmm. Because it's been around for so long, and everybody, I'm sure there's 1,000 Hotel California tweets out there, and believe me, people have sent me them.
Oh yeah, that's the downside of having a very popular tweet.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that, because Hotel California is one of the first songs I ever learned to play on guitar. So this tweet means a little more to me because of that.
Yeah.
So that song will always be a part of me, and for me now to be the Hotel California guy is something pretty weird and special.
It's such a lovely place.
Such a lovely place.
Thank you. Okay, so that is great. We got to the bottom of the Hotel California bit. Love that one. And then I asked you to send some tweets from some other people, which is tough because there's so many great, hilarious, funny people in our town and community online. And these are just a few of the said people. So first, from the aforementioned Space Girl Incognito at I am Space Girl on Twitter, the tweet is McDonald's in 1985. Okay. The boss. Playground ideas? Divorced Hank says, a hot metal jail made from the head of a hamburger man. Boss, first of all, I love it. That's the end of the joke. The boss loves it because we all remember, I mean, most of us, right? Who are we? We're old guys. We're like around 30, and we know about these old McDonald play places.
Yeah.
With the hot metal heads.
That's one that wow, I saw that because I spend very little time on the timeline to avoid Trump tweets mostly. Uh-huh. I saw that one, and that's one that she didn't really share with anybody, and that one took off very quickly because it's so good. And I think you can see a comment on that tweet from me, because 2 hours prior she was writing off tweeting. She's like, I'll never tweet another funny tweet ever again. And we all go through those lulls where we never think we'll do it again. We lost the touch and everything. But it was like legitimately like an hour before she tweeted this one.
It's always
and like she dropped that one.
The dawn, my man.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like so that one, man, that one sticks with me. It's so good. It's just, first of all, I love it.
It's awesome. There's a lot going on, but Sky's one of the best, and obviously a lot of her tweets are just hilarious on so many levels. That one's hitting a lot of levels, right? The nostalgia, absolutely. 85. You got the boss being out of character, loving a bad idea. It's just great. Like the boss, totally on board. It's like and
the best thing about that is that, as someone who remembers those hot metal hamburger heads, like this scenario that she paints makes the most sense. Yeah. Because why else would you do that? Yeah. Because out of context, it's scary. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But we went inside the heads and we had fun inside them, I guess. But
I remember them being incredibly hot. That's what really touched me. Like the sun would heat those bad boys up, and then you tell kids to get on those. I don't know.
Yeah.
Divorced Hank should not have listened to him. Okay.
It's a different time.
So the next tweet from the inimitable Butt Sword at Butt Sword, who is a bird, on Twitter, and our good friend. So his hilarious tweet is 911 dispatcher says, 911, what's your emergency? Me, hello, GameStop? That's it. That's the tweet. It's so simple, yet so effective. What did you like about this Dimitri tweet?
It is so that I envy where he wants, and people will eat it up. And everything he does is absolutely genius. And this tweet here is probably one of his underperforming tweets, and I think it should have a bajillion more interactions. But so I first read this tweet while I was getting my hair cut. My fiance cuts my hair. She's
okay. I was like, can you do that? Can you do that at first choice? Did they let you?
So I first read it and I cracked up so hard. It was one of those moments where you can't stop yourself from laughing, and she was in the middle of buzzing the back of my head, and I was like, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to stop because I can't stop laughing at this. And I read it 4 or 5 more times and laughed, 4 or 5 more times, and she just at that point she was like, you have to put your phone down. Don't even think about it. Don't think about anything else. I just want to get your hair done, and then you can read it as much as you want. And I did.
And you got the haircut, and it turned out great, I'm sure.
It was probably a little bit screwed up because I couldn't stop laughing, but
mostly good, right? Under this scenario, as good as you can get.
Yeah. She said that she didn't mess up because she's the best.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm trying to,
Nah, she's the best.
Yeah, she's great. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we're giving her shout out or at the end, but shout out to her.
At Coreysaurus.
There you go. At Coreysaurus, everyone on Twitter.
She's not funny. Her best tweet I wrote for her.
Oh, here we go. Behind the curtain. Okay, so the final tweet that we've sent from one of our other friends is from friend of the show, Mark McGark at Markedly. Have you heard? I believe he has a podcast, Making Friends with Mark McGark. Will, do you know anything about this?
I have not heard anything about this, and I'm even offended that you would mention it in this hallowed hall.
Well, I've been listening. Hey, I've been listening, and it's great. It's got great artwork. I'm not sure who did the artwork. Will, do you know who did the artwork for that podcast?
It was some really brilliant guy. I can't remember his name, but
he goes by many names.
Yeah, a man of many names.
All right. Well, Will did the artwork for that podcast, so go check it out. I think it's Making Friends with Mark McGark. I think it's McGark Pod on Twitter, so go check it out. He's gotten good people on. I don't know, getting some pretty good.
Well, he doesn't
interviews.
have me on, so
not yet.
All
right, so this tweet though is one of my favorite of all time. Again, it's right up there with Hotel California. It had made me laugh so many times. I've retweeted it countless times. Everyone follow at Markedly on Twitter, and the tweet goes like this: 2 ways sharks can die. 1, if they stop swimming. 2, if they start swimming. Into my fists. So you can tell that that was tweeted from the Bronx, New York, because it's just a totally Bronx tweet, I think. One of the funniest, like sharks, he's threatening sharks to start swimming into his fists. Just so many hilarious things going on in that tweet. Again, the sharks though, right? I guess it's a common theme.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and I mostly mentioned sharks are one of my favorite animals. Probably top 5, maybe top 3, and I hate them so much. But man, you gotta respect sharks.
Yeah, I don't have to like you, but I have to respect you.
Exactly, and I think my shark tweet versus his shark tweet. Sides of it, it's one person that is actively fearing sharks, and
one person is actively threatening them.
Yeah, And if you check out the thread on that tweet, you can see how much I love that tweet and how much I have. At one point, I asked Mark if I could quote tweet it just to pin it on my page, and I did for a while. But more people were retweeting my quote tweet than his tweet, which I didn't want at all.
No, yeah.
So
that's a side effect of the quote tweet.
Yeah, it's one of those tweets that like you see it every time you'll retweet it. That's one of them for me.
Yeah, for me
it does
too.
not get by me.
No, yeah. Whenever I see that one, I had to get it back in the TL because everyone needs to see this,
It's
and
brilliant.
especially sharks. Like sharks need to know what's up.
Yeah, and if any sharks are listening, my friend Mark will not have any of your shit. So if you want to come into my house again, I got a guy.
Yeah, Mark's got your back. Sharks.
Yeah, anything
All right.
else he doesn't. But yeah, when sharks, I'm gonna call him.
Cool. All right, so those are all the tweets. Reading tweets is hard, but we got through it. So let's talk briefly before we get into the hundreds and hundreds of questions. It's just some of the other stuff that you're doing on Twitter that is really fun. You do a lot of contests and you're in a lot of DM rooms. You're here and there. You're doing a lot of stuff. So how do you stay so engaged doing all the stuff? You're probably in a million DM rooms. So what's it like for you?
Well, I mean, I don't even know how many I'm in, but
Exactly.
I would say I'm at 6 to 10. It gets overwhelming, and a lot of those are like just one-offs and stuff like that. But there are a few that are near and dear to my heart that I will always come back to. And DM rooms, and I know like right when I started, DM rooms were starting to kind of be a thing, and before that, like you could only direct message people, just
Yeah.
one-off.
Yeah, I'm trying to get people to talk about sort of the DM room scene. It's like sort of something that doesn't get talked about. It's like a behind the scenes thing, right? You don't see people who are in these rooms, but there's all these different crazy rooms with all these people, doing whatever, sending tweets and having conversations. And like you said, it can be a bit overwhelming. It's like nonstop 24/7 chat rooms going on. But, Go ahead.
It's a great way to meet people and a great way to make friends. And I mean, you're a perfect example of this. We're sitting here because we met on the timelines many times, but until we were in chat rooms together, like that's when things started to take off. So
yeah, and I guess
it's different
levels. Yeah, it's like the next level.
Yeah, it's definitely more intimate, and it's a great way for. I would actually say it's the best way to kind of start your career on Twitter, because building a group of friends on the timeline is all right, but actually sharing something with people and talking to them on a daily basis really builds that camaraderie. And as I guess if you follow me, you'll notice that I've recently hung out with a couple of people from Twitter. And those are people that I have been talking to, throughout my entire stay on Twitter. And if it wasn't for DM rooms, man, I don't know if I would ever have the courage to be like, yeah, I fully know this person and I'm willing to like invite them over to my house and have them stay, because they're great people and I wouldn't have known about them without DM rooms. And that's such a great way to make friends and a great way to reach out to other people and really get your name out there. But on that subject, it's so cool to just add people to your DM rooms without inviting them.
Yeah. There's a lot of sort of unspoken etiquette about it, right? You don't want to like spam people. You don't want to be adding people to weird rooms with 1,000 people, or like adding people to a room where there's like brands in for like who invited Highliner chips, fish and chips into this room? Like, why is Highliner fish and chips in here? Like. So
I'm usually the asshole adding brands. So,
right.
But that'll be just like in our group and like, places where like I feel comfortable enough that if I add Doritos,
it's a joke.
Everybody will be like, yeah, all right, Doritos belongs here.
Yeah.
They usually end up leaving because they don't want to be there.
Yeah, it would suck to be the marketing intern who has to leave all these DM rooms for Doritos Twitter account.
Yeah, I think Doritos and Taco Bell have probably been the two I've added to the most rooms. If Doritos or Taco Bell are listening, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna stop.
Live Moss.
Yeah, I gotta live Moss.
Whatever the Doritos thing is.
Get bold or something.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that was a nice little touch on DM rooms. One other thing that you're doing that I think is cool. I know other people do it, but I've recently been listening to a lot of the songs on your music thread. So you post a thread, and it's like songs I'm jamming on right now or whatever, and it's great. A lot of great songs, and you add to it sporadically. And there's a lot of songs that were near, or bands and songs that were near and dear to my heart. Some of which, but not limited to, Saves the Day, Brand New, the Get Up Kids, Moneen, Alexis on Fire. So some great Canadian content too. You want to talk a little bit about your little Spotify playlist tweet?
Sure, absolutely. And I noticed you've got Devil and God back there, which I just picked up on like 5 minutes ago. Excellent.
Yes.
I would pull mine out, but it's a little bit out of arm's reach.
Does yours have the sticker on it? Let's just talk a little inside baseball. Does yours have,
it doesn't. It's from I think I have two copies. One is from, it was like a limited tour release when they first pressed it, and so one's gold and one is white.
Oh baby.
Yeah, so that album is amazing, and it's probably one of my favorite albums of all time.
Agreed, me too. So we're talking about Brand New, the band Brand New, and the album Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. One of the best albums ever. I got it on vinyl back there. I don't have the limited edition tour gold edition vinyl, but I would definitely get that if I could. And then there was...
This one's the white one, but yeah.
Yeah, and so there's no...
Yeah, I don't know how many of those are pressed, but it was around the first pressing of it.
Well, very jealous of that. So yeah, you got great musical taste, IMO. So loved all those tracks.
So as far as the thread goes, I recently started, as anybody from the 2000 era getting into music like that would know, if you're a music fan now, man, you have Spotify, you have Tidal, you have, all these great music things to get your music from, and it's great. Back in our day, man, we would download stuff from like Kazaa or Napster and load up our iPods that were like, big bricks, and we put it all on our computer, and we have to download it. And it was a time-consuming process, and it was the only thing I knew. But recently I got Spotify, and it's been a life-changing experience, because all of the music that I had ever downloaded or ever listened to 10, 15 years ago is at my fingertips now, and I want to share with people. And because those tunes are like, those are near and dear to my heart, as you said. And it became something that I just kind of wanted to get out and let people know that this is the kind of person I am, this is the kind of music I listen to. And if by chance you stumble across a song that you never heard before and you're listening to it and you like it and you decide to check out that band, that's great. And a lot of recommendations from bands that I've completely fallen in love with and have changed my life came from I've said, hey, you should check this out. So it's not something that I want to shove down your throat. It's not something that I want to say, hey, check this out, you should really check this out, I think you would like it. But it's there if you want to listen. It's there if you want to check these bands out, these songs. They're just a few of my favorite takes. But I guess the funny part is this was something that was so passive that it was like, hey, I had this thread going on, and I'm just going to keep adding into it until someone says shut up. But I had through Spotify, I discovered the Wonder Years, which has now become like one of my favorite bands in the past couple of months. And I posted one song, and Lin-Manuel Miranda happened to come across my timeline and comment on this one song.
Creator of Hamilton Broadway musical, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, and he commented on a song that I just basically put up and said, hey, if you like this, listen to it. And he liked it, and he felt compelled enough to let me know. And I thought that was the coolest thing, man.
No, but then what happened?
And then it blew up. And then in addition to that, the lead singer of Wonder Years commented on it as well and said, hey, man, thanks for listening.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Comes full circle.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is great, but like that meant a little more to me.
I'm going to say,
that's something crazy.
But it's like the Lin-Manuel Miranda thing meant a lot to Wonder Years guy, and then that in turn meant a lot to you. Comes full circle. The magic of Twitter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it was a nuts day, man. And as far as people like checking their notification, that was the day I threw out my phone, because it wasn't even like on a tweet that I wanted to do well. Like,
Yeah, it
if you
has
check
nothing
out
to
the
do
Twitter
with you.
thread,
It's
it's
not
like got
really,
like almost
your
1,000 likes. It's
content.
crazy.
But wow, still good work. Bringing awareness to great music, like all those bands mentioned. Everyone go check out the playlist, and I will link to that on the show notes for this episode.
Thank you so much, dude. And that's I really appreciate people giving feedback on that, because that's something, I guess, more personal than, tweets. I mean, I like to make people laugh, but like those are songs that speak to me, and I'm glad that, people are enjoying it.
Yeah, you've curated a good list, and I think I've said, and now like it opens up a dialogue, right? Like I think I sent you a song or from a band that I like, Born Ruffians.
Yeah.
Not their best song that I sent, but it's sort of just like, hey, this is a good band you should check out, Born Ruffians, so it's really good to have that sweet musical dialogue, and you got good songs on your track. Everyone listen to it. I don't know if you want them to follow you on Spotify. That's kind of weird, right? But
I mean, if they want to, I mean, it's Spotify is weird because you can just see what people are listening to, and I think that's cool and also extremely creepy. But
it is.
I like it. And Spotify, and if you don't have Spotify, I would definitely recommend it. And it as I said, it's life changing.
Yeah, for sure. And I also tried Apple Music. So for Apple Music people out there, I thought that was good too. But I ended up back on Spotify, and I agree with you, Will, 100%. Any song that you want or whatever. Like my little nieces want to listen to the Frozen song, Let It Go. Boom. Uncle Steve's got that under control right now. So it's
Nice.
Great having it. You can listen to any song. There's some good playlists, and you can make your own playlists, and it's all good for a low price. And if you can split it and get a family plan, that's even better.
For sure.
Okay, so good. We've mentioned the sweet music thread. We've mentioned your friendly back and forth that with celebs like Mark Hoppus and Lin-Manuel Miranda, creator of Hamilton on Broadway.
Oh, stop.
So, on that topic, what other celeb encounters have you had online? What is sort of your more memorable, like one or two of your more memorable interactions? You gotta have one or two that pop to mind. I mean, that Lin-Manuel and Wonder Years guy is probably up there.
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty cool. I have, celebrity likes here and there, celebrity retweets are great. Say, man, Mark Hoppus interacting with me online, man, that's one thing that I can't really stress enough how bizarre and surreal it is. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And that if you follow me, the dumb egg tweet that I did to all the small things, replacing basically every noun with the word egg.
Yeah.
And that's something it was like a Saturday morning. We were getting ready for breakfast, and me and my fiance usually sing stupid songs to each other, and that's one of them that came out. And I put the phone down and I went to make coffee, and I come back and Mark Hoppus has commented on this tweet, playing along with the whole egg thing and saying "blink one eggy two," which I think is probably one of my favorite tweets of all time now.
Definitely best reply though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so excellent, and it's just super cool. I didn't deserve it, but I'm pretty cool that it's happening.
It's the best. I am also a huge. Growing up for me, Mark Hoppus was like one of my heroes, and to see him interact with you was great, and how much of a jolt you got out of it. For something so silly, right? And just because you're silly, we're being silly, it's silly, everyone likes to be silly, and then all of a sudden Mark Hoppus is joining in on the fun. So very cool, Will. Great work with the celeb interactions.
Thanks. Again, I don't know what I did to deserve it, but it's there, and it's pretty cool.
All right, well, we've been chatting a long time. I'm dying to get to these questions. We got all the questions we got to get to, so we're going to jump right into it. So, Mark McGark, here we go. Aforementioned, already mentioned on the podcast.
God.
Check him out. Great artwork on the podcast. The question is simply, egg?
Egg.
The answer is egg. There you have it, Mark. So, I think we just talked about the egg thing, right? So, question, egg, answer, egg. Great. So now our pal The Hype at The Hype with 3 Ys asks, how does trash taste? How does trash taste? I think he's saying because you're a raccoon.
Raccoon, I guess. Yeah. Well, I think it's presumptuous of Hype. Let's get that straight.
Here it comes.
So, first of all, just because I'm a raccoon online doesn't mean that I eat trash.
No, there you go.
but it's decent.
It's decent. There you have it. It's decent. So give it a try. Hype? Go on and give it a try.
Well, he knows a lot about trash.
Oh, shots fired from
just
the
kidding, I love you, Hype.
podcast. I'll edit it out. No, I won't. Okay. So next question comes from our friend Pale Space Rider at True Grit Rumble. And he asked, what's his maiden name?
I don't.
You don't
I
give
don't know
out,
if I'm,
you don't give
I
out
don't
that kind
know
of
what that even
information
means. I'm
online?
not married yet, but so if you know me, I guess if you know, you obviously have my whole name.
I have this information right in front of me right now. Yes.
Yeah. So I will answer that in the most impersonal way I possibly can and say that my name is Penis Buttman Penis. So there's my maiden name.
Buttman. The answer would be Buttman.
Buttman, yeah.
Thank you, Penis. So next question is from the also aforementioned Space Girl Incognito at I am Space Girl, one of the best on Twitter. Thank you so much for submitting a question. Her question is, F, marry, kill. You know, that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
F, marry, kill. Peter Gabriel, Brad Pitt, David Bowie.
See, she knows this one is particularly difficult for me.
It's a lot of inside
yeah.
knowledge coming to bear here.
Yeah, so it's not a very nice question, but let's go with. Okay, I found a way out here.
You can
So
also
I'm
swear. I said F, but it's a podcast.
Okay.
We can swear. CRTC ain't
Well, actually,
listening to us.
If I curse, can you bleep me out, because I've always wanted to be bleeped, and I think it's funnier.
Yeah, I'll
You don't have to
I
promise
will
me, though.
try. Yeah, I will say that I
Okay.
will try. So
Okay.
if it's
So,
bleeped, I did it.
So, Peter Gabriel. Wait, no. Let's go. Let's marry Peter Gabriel. We'll Brad Pitt, and we'll kill David Bowie, even though it breaks my heart. But he's already dead. So
Okay, yeah.
That's my way out.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. So we have Peter Gabriel, or no, Brad Pitt, marry Peter Gabriel, and kill David Bowie. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
You can't see behind me, but I have all those David Bowie. All my David Bowie records are all out because I was listening to them all recently. They're great.
And I just want to let her know that this kills me. And
that was mean.
Thank you.
And
I
it was
guess
mean, right? To make you do that, to put you through that. You know.
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's not the nicest, but maybe we'll get a nicer question in the future. Okay, So next questions we have from Space Cat, the very nice and funny Sarah at Catstronomical on Twitter. She asks some good questions. What has been the best aspect of being a part of funny Twitter for you?
It absolutely 100% is meeting all these great funny people and getting to know them and making friends. Like the interactions between people. It's great. I mean, obviously, as I brought up last, a couple minutes ago, like meeting Tom, Sky, Rob, Mitch, Sarah, actually, who is asking the question.
That's it.
All these people, and Dave Cactus.
Oh yeah, shout out to Dave Cactus.
Like it was one of the best weekends I've ever had in my life, and it wouldn't have been possible without the interaction with these great people, and that's really, really cool.
Yes, thank you for your question, Sarah. Great answer too. Well, thank you. Okay, so a couple more questions from her. What's something he's always wanted to do but hasn't gotten the chance to?
I love to travel, or I'd love to travel. I guess it's a kind way of saying I don't have the money to, but I would love to go back to London. I would love to go to Canada. All these different places that I would love to visit, and I would like to spend the rest of my life just visiting these different places. And I hope I get the chance to.
Yeah, especially Canada.
Yeah, definitely, especially Canada.
Yes.
Brought to you by the Board of Canada Travel Agency. But yeah, I guess travel more would be the question.
All right.
Well, the answer.
Thank you for all your questions, Sarah. Okay, this is what we've alluded to. It's a question from our own friend Will DeBeast. at Flash Ember on Twitter. And his question is, why did he quit Twitter that one time for quite a while? Be specific, please.
So this is a loaded question.
It's loaded, and we knew that. I teased it at the beginning. It's going to be this is what people tune in for. This is a juicy story.
So the answer is John himself, Wildebeest. That's it. That's the reason.
Oh wow. Okay, that's it. There you have it, John. That's the answer. The hiatus was your fault. So
basically.
that is incredibly specific, and I think that answers the question. All right. So Dean Thompson asks,
if you want me to, we can get into it. If you have time.
Well, I mean, maybe give us the Cole's notes.
Sure. I think with anybody on Twitter, you can find yourself a bit lost, and I definitely was feeling very lost, and I have a lot of social anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety as it is in general. And it wasn't helping, and it was making things a lot worse. A lot of the people I had made friends with, I know I'm putting this out there, but obviously this isn't true, but a lot of people I was friends with, I just kind of felt like I had fallen out and wasn't really part of anything anymore. And I had tried to set up, a safe haven for small accounts and really kind of nurture and introduce people to what Twitter had to offer, and in the same time I was kind of losing myself and things that were going on in the world on Twitter, and you still can't but I've thought that it would be best for me to just step away, and when I did, I had zero intention of returning.
Oh, wow.
And when I sent it and I let everyone know, as with the follow-up to that last question, the reason Twitter's so special is the friendships you make, and that's kind of something that's hard for people to admit, is that these people that we talk to on a daily basis, even though they're on the internet, these people are you guys are my best friends, and I think that's true with a lot of people, and it's hard for people to admit because we're on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, especially as we grow older, and the friends that you grew up with, that you spent so much time with and stuff, kind of find it hard to fit into their schedule. You guys are always there, and it's something that's a little more special than I think people are willing to admit. And so shout out to Tom, Trojan Sauce, and to Sky for basically demanding that I come back. But
yeah, right when you thought you were out, they pulled you back in. And do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I kind of wanted to mention that, right? Like to get you back. I don't know if this was for real or not, but when Sky tweeted, she's like, 1,000 retweets, was it? Or
it was something that Tom and I had discussed, and we were talking over Snapchat, and he was like, and it was just friendly banter, and it was basically, so what's it going to take to get you back? And I was like, yeah, it's not happening.
Right.
He was like, yeah, but what's it going to take? And I was like, I was at like 3.5 thousand followers at the time. I was like, yeah, if you get me to 4,000 followers without me tweeting, I'll come back. And that was something that I thought was impossible. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, because you're not tweeting. You were MIA, not tweeting at all, and you have a 500 follower, which if you're on Twitter, you know that just doesn't happen, right?
Yeah,
500 new follower. Unless you pay money and you get bots, it's not going to happen. So for Sky to pull this little campaign together to get you back, I thought it was really awesome. And obviously, I loved you before you left and really missed you when you were gone. So I was part of it, tried to bump you up and get you those followers. I think I probably got you one or two. But then you did come back, and it's been great ever since. So, if you have to leave again, that's fine, but I'd rather that you don't.
Thank you. I think I'm stronger for it, man. And I got a chance to really reacquaint myself with So basically, during that time, I got stronger mentally, and I focused on what was important to me. It happened after I came back on Twitter, but basically I had made the plans I was saving, and I proposed to my girlfriend, and who is now my fiance.
Congratulations. Yes. Shout out again, Corey Sars.
Yep. So that was something that, and developed out of that. I started running. I lost like 50 pounds. And I got better for me, and just tried to focus on what I was missing. And it was cool to get away from it all, because once I came back, I realized all the nonsense that like I was stressing out about. It's just part of Twitter, and it's not real, man. And it's just something that you kind of have to filter out. And if you're around it 24/7, you find it hard to get away from.
That's right. Yes, it's the being around it 24/7. So everyone out there, take breaks. Please take breaks for yourself and for your sanity. And yeah, talk to people in real life and live a life. It totally helps. Have a balance, right? So awesome. Well, that was beautiful, Will, and thanks for having you back. So we got still about a million more questions to go. So we're just going to run through these real quick because we're getting over time. My producer is frantically signaling to me that we're over time. So but we got to read these ones from friend of the show, Jess. Okay, fine. First friend of the show. Now this is less a question, more a demand, but she says, eat a milk hot dog and post a video. I don't know if you want to explain that.
You know what? If this came from anybody else, I would say absolutely not, but I will do it.
He's going to do it, everyone. You heard it here first. We can delay that and we'll put it up. We'll make a big do out of it. Just let me know and we'll post a video on the show notes for this episode. Jess,
so I would have to find a vegetarian hot dog because I'm vegetarian. But yeah, we'll make it. My fiance is cringing in disgust because she knows what I'm gonna do.
Yes, I'm glad. I think we can make hundreds of thousands of people cringe if we get this video circulating online. Okay, so another friend of the show, Todd Williams, Todd Poppy Carlos at the Todd Williams asks, if he could ask me any question, what would it be? So if you could ask Todd, he wouldn't. Todd, you've been burned. Okay, so we keep rolling. Keep this
roasted
question trainer rolling from our friend RM at Dorsal Stream. This is a good question. This is the callback to the tweet before about the shark and the house noises. He asks, what do house noises sound like, and what's his best imitation? Hit it.
So I'm guessing like house noises are like, but I guess the better question is, what would house noises sound like from a shark?
Ah, yes. That is the next level question.
In which case, man, I don't even know. I don't even know what a shark sounds like. If it makes a noise.
I don't think they would really. And plus, would the shark be in water or out of water?
It would be out of water, right?
Out of water, so it's really just sort of like gasping.
Yeah. It would be a lot of like wheezing, like
yeah.
Like that, but with like a little bit of crinkling and house.
Yeah, we're really
sounds.
creating a oral soundscape for the listener.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So a couple more questions from our friend Danny at Dundlewood. It's another marry, sleep with, kill, spend a day at Six Flags with. Oh, he added an extra one. The Rock, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, and Ludacris. So,
what were the four options?
Marry, sleep with, kill, those same three, and then spend a day at Six Flags with.
Okay.
And it was, again, The Rock, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, and Ludacris.
Well, I would marry The Rock, obviously. And I think that would be beneficial to my fiance as well. I would go to Six Flags with Vin Diesel.
Okay.
I would kill Jason Statham. Who was the last one? Ludacris?
Luda.
Yeah, and then fuck Ludacris.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's good. Does Corey want to give her answer?
She's mad because I killed Jason Statham,
right.
But I don't really like him, so she loves him.
Oh, mate. Mate,
but, yeah.
He was good.
Only if Vin Diesel says I'm Groot. Otherwise, he sucks.
So her stipulation is Vin Diesel can only say I am Groot the whole time.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
great
that's fine.
movie.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay. Great answer. We're sensing some serious animosity about this question being asked. So
thanks, Danny.
Sorry, you caused some strife in the household. All right, so just a couple more, and then we will be finished. We'll be out of here. We'll get ourselves a sody pop. So from Abe MB at Dubious Rhetoric, he asks, "Why are his glasses taped? Is he Harry Potter?"
No, I'm not Harry Potter, unfortunately. I wish. Well, I mean, I don't really wish I was, but I wish I went to Hogwarts. Is that something that you read Harry Potter, and it's something that I always got depressed about when I read Harry Potter, was that the school I went to wasn't Hogwarts.
When I finally turned 18, I was so upset because I didn't get asked to Hogwarts. I was like, my life's over. I'm never going to go to Hogwarts.
Yeah,
because it is real. I don't know if you know that.
It's a big deal.
I wrote it in a way that it totally could be real.
And so I'm not Harry Potter, but I wish I went to Hogwarts. Even if it was just
a lowly Hufflepuff or something, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't need. In fact, I don't want to be Harry Potter. I don't want to deal with the stuff he did.
Yeah,
I just want to go to
be
class.
Like gambling on Quidditch matches and skipping spells class or whatever.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now our final question comes from our pal Alligator at Not a Croc. He's not a crocodile; it's an alligator. Is it true he loves alligators, particularly red ones with yellow eyes? So for the listener, his AVI is a red gator with yellow eyes. So this is sort of a pointed question, is it?
Yeah.
And
the
do.
answer is absolutely.
Of course, we all love Alligator. He's one of the great ones out there on Twitter. So give him a follow too. Heck, give all these people follows. That's the point of this podcast. So thank you everyone so much for submitting your questions. Thank you so much to Will for answering the questions and getting real with us. Not really that saved for Mark McGark's podcast, Making Friends with Mark McGark, but we can get deep here too, talking about tweets, talking about Twitter. So let's wrap it up. Will, do you have any shout outs? Do you have anything to promote? Do you have anything your final words? Remember when Jerry Springer did his part at the end? This is that part. So for you.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, if anyone's listening, and they're starting up on Twitter, I just want to say, don't give up. If it's something you want and it's something that you think you can do. I mentioned earlier, having that person say, hey, if that person can do it, I think I can too. Let me be that guy, because I don't think I'm incredibly clever or anything, and I've done pretty well for myself.
Oh, so modest.
So my three main goals in Twitter are make friends, be kind, and above all, have fun.
Yes, that's great.
That's what we're here for.
I love that. That's going to be
awesome.
My new MO.
Take it. Enjoy it. Run with it.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again, Will. So we have now reached the end of the podcast, where I play the podcast theme and we say goodbye to everybody. So bye. Thanks for listening, everybody. Then that's the theme playing, and we talk like we're saying bye to everybody. Like, bye.
Oh. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye. No, there's a music playing.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye,
I'm
Corey.
waving. They can't tell I'm waving.
Bye, Will. Yeah, we're waving.
Corey.
Bye.
We got blue skies overhead. Sun is shining like the weatherman said. The grass is green. This is the best. Summertime's here and it's Hoagie Fest. Got flip-flops on your feet. Wawa's waiting right up the street. A classic hoagie, that's the best. Summertime's here and it's Hoagie Fest. Side. Get on the bike and you go for a ride. Outside, the air is fresh. Summertime's here and it's Hoagie Fest. Fun times, won't you come along? Now you're humming that summertime song. A Wawa Hoagie, that's the best. Summertime's here and it's Hoagie Fest. Hoagie, Hoagie, Hoagie Fest. Summertime is here. Summertime is here. Summertime is here. Summertime's here and it's Hoagie Fest.